Okay, now let us study the other cryptographic schemes which is coming under substitution technique. Okay, so in the last class and all, we actually started with the conventional form of cryptographic technique. Okay, and I told you that the conventional cryptographic scheme can be classified into substitution as well as transposition. Okay, so the thing is that the substitution techniques are also again categorized into various techniques, and also the transposition techniques are also categorized into various other techniques that we will study later. But the thing is that the substitution techniques, the conventional form of substitution techniques can be classified into monoalphabetic and polyalphabetic ciphers. Okay, so from the name itself it is clear that if you are considering only each and every letter of the plain text message individually, and then you are going for encryption process, then it is called as monoalphabetic cipher. Okay, and on the other hand, if you are considering more than one letter of the plain text message in order to find out the ciphertext letters corresponding to it, then it is called as polyalphabetic cipher. Okay, so some of the examples of monoalphabetic ciphers are Caesar cipher, simple monoalphabetic cipher, multiplicative cipher, and affine cipher. Okay, so each and every one of them we will study in detail, and I hope you have already gone through the first type of this monoalphabetic cipher, that is Caesar cipher. Actually, I told you the details of the Caesar cipher in the last class itself. Okay, so in the next type, the simple monoalphabetic cipher, the multiplicative cipher, and affine cipher, with respect to this monoalphabetic cipher, need to be studied in detail. Okay, and also the polyalphabetic ciphers, the various types of polyalphabetic ciphers also we have to look in detail. Okay, so actually what is Caesar cipher? I told you Caesar cipher is having another name such as a shift cipher, and also it can be also called as additive cipher. Okay, Caesar cipher is also termed in two other ways, that is it can be also termed as shift cipher or otherwise additive cipher. Okay, so the thing is that the value of k will be given to you in the question itself, and each and every letter of the plain text message has to be simply considered in terms of numerical values in such a way that the plain text message corresponding to A will be 0, and as that of Z will be 25. So like that randomly you have to assign the numeric values for each and every alphabetical letters of the alphabet set. Okay, so the thing is that we are having corresponding formulas. Okay, P plus K mod 26 in order to get the ciphertext for performing encryption, and in order to decrypt the message so as to get the plain text, you have to perform C minus K mod 26. Okay, so the concepts regarding this Caesar cipher were already covered in the last slides. Okay, so now it is time for us to look onto the second category of this monoalphabetic cipher, that is simple monoalphabetic cipher. Okay, so thing that we studied in Caesar cipher was that we will be already given with the information regarding the plain text message, and also okay, some information regarding the key also will be given. Okay, for example, the value of the key will be given directly in terms of numerical value, or otherwise it will be given in terms of alphabetical letters. Anyhow, you will have to convert it into the numerical value, then only you will be able to perform this addition modulo operation. Okay, that means P plus K mod 26. Okay, so the thing what is happening in simple monoalphabetic cipher is that we are not at all considering the concept of key individually. Okay, that is the plain text messages will be simply given as such. Okay, and before going for encryption of the plain text message, we will simply construct a table randomly. Okay, that means without any specific factor or without any considerations, we will be simply constructing a table, and that table entirely is going to be termed as a key. Okay, and how we are going to construct this table is that based on our own logic. Okay, that means the table simply consists of the details of all those elements from A to Z. Okay, and from A to Z, what all elements or what all characters has to be substituted for each and every character, simply I'll be specifying it with the help of a table. Okay, so thing is that the way I am going to create a table, or the way in which I am going to assign my characters in terms of other characters will be entirely different from that is assigned by you. Okay, you can use your own concept. Okay, each and everyone has a right to construct their own table by using their own logic and concepts. Okay, so thing is that here I have drawn the table with respect to these specific notations, that is in terms of my concept, small a corresponds to I, that is wherever I find A, I will simply replace it with I, wherever I find B, I will simply replace it with D. wherever I find F, I'll simply replace it with A. Okay, simply randomly without focusing on any specific factors, I simply is going to substitute each and every letter with some other letters. That's all. Okay. So this table entirely is called as the key in our aspect in the case of simple monoalphabetic cipher. Okay. So simply by considering such a table, whenever I find a plain text message, okay, whenever I find a plain text message, for example, meet me tomorrow, okay, then I will first of all look what is the first letter in the plain text message. It is M. So simply I will be looking onto the table, and I will find that O is the letter which is going to be replaced whenever M occurs. So instead of M, I will be replacing it with a ciphertext letter O. Likewise, each and every plain text message letter has to be replaced with some other ciphertext letters as per the directions which is given in the table. And the table information itself is created by you itself. Okay, it is not created by anyone else. It is simply created by you itself. Okay, so the thing is that each and every person will be creating their own concepts the table. Okay, so that is what is happening in simple monoalphabetic cipher. So example is given here. Okay, so whenever M comes, it is simply replaced with the O. Whenever E comes, okay, so please look into the table. Whenever E comes, it is simply replaced by U. So that is what is written here. It is replaced by U. Since it is repeating in the third character also, it is simply replaced by U. Whenever T comes, okay, whenever T comes, it is simply replaced by H. Likewise, the rest of the plain text messages is encrypted or simply replaced with some other letters as specified in the given table, and this table itself is called as the key table. Okay, so that is what is happening in simple monoalphabetic cipher. Okay, the third character, or otherwise the third different type of monoalphabetic cipher is multiplicative cipher. So actually we had one another type of cipher which was called as additive cipher. Okay, we had one cipher which was called as additive cipher, and that additive cipher was another name which was given for Caesar cipher. Okay, so what was the operation which was actually happening there? It was P plus K mod 26. Okay, addition mod 26 was actually happening here, but the another operation, that means in order to find the product modulo operation, we opt for multiplicative cipher. That is, instead of performing addition, we perform multiplication here. That means P into K mod 26 is carried out. Okay, so likewise in order to decrypt the message, that means in order to recover the plain text message from the given ciphertext message, C into K inverse mod 26 is carried out. So the thing you have to notice that in the case of addition, okay, that means in the case of additive cipher, P plus K mod 26 was carried out for encryption, and for decryption, C minus K mod 26 was carried out. On the other hand, since it is multiplicative cipher, in the case of encryption, we will be performing P into K mod 26, and for decryption, we will be performing C into K inverse mod 26. So actually, K inverse has to be taken, and then it has to be multiplied with C, and then mod 26 has to be performed. Okay. So that is what is happening in the case of multiplicative cipher. Then the last type of cipher is affine cipher. Actually, it is not an individual form of cipher. It is a combination of two ciphers that we have already studied about. Okay, that means it is a combination of multiplicative cipher as well as additive cipher, and hence we need not a single key. We need a key pair. That means we need two keys. Okay, then only we can perform this combined operations. Okay, so since we are using or adopting two methods here in the single cipher, we require not a single key, we require a key pair itself. That means a pair which consists of two keys. Okay, so actually what is happening is that first of all, whatever plain text message is made available to us, we will be simply performing multiplicative cipher with the help of the first key. I told you in the question itself, or otherwise by scratch itself, we will be already available with a key pair. Okay, so with the help of the first key, we will be performing the multiplicative cipher so as to get a temporary ciphertext message. That corresponding ciphertext message cannot be considered as final. It is simply a temporary ciphertext message. In the second step, with this temporary ciphertext message, we will be performing additive cipher algorithm, or otherwise additive cipher mechanism, or otherwise Caesar cipher mechanism, with the help of the second key, so as to get the final target ciphertext. Okay, so for example, if this is a formula corresponding to each and every operation, C dash is the temporary cipher text which is generated after performing the multiplicative cipher operation. That is, P is the original plain text message whatever is made available to at the initial stage. Okay, P into K1 mod 26, that is multiplicative cipher operation is carried out here with the help of the first key. Okay, so P is the plain text message that is made available to you in the initial stage. So P into K1 mod 26 is carried out. So naturally you will be able to get a ciphertext message, but please don't think that that is a ciphertext message which can be considered as final. Actually, it is a temporary ciphertext message. We have to do an additional operation in the second step, then only we can generate a final ciphertext message. Okay, so in the second step, we are going for sorry, here it is C plus K2. Okay, please note it is C plus K2, C dash plus K2. It is not C dash K2, it is C dash plus K2. Okay, I have forgotten to include one plus sign here. Please note it down. Whenever when I'm going to send this note to you, I'll correct it and send. Okay, so the thing is that in the second step, we are going for additive cipher operation. That is, whatever the temporary ciphertext message we have generated in the first step, we'll in the second step we'll be undergoing the additive cipher operation, that is C dash plus K2. That means K2 is the second key which is available in the key pair. Okay, plus K2 mode 26 carried out. So after that we'll be able to generate the final ciphertext message which can be made available through the network so as to reach the receiver side. Okay, so actually this is what is happening in the case of encryption. Okay, so likewise on the decryption side, that means in the receiver side, just reverse operation will be carried out. Okay, that means multiplicative ciphers, just reverse operation will be carried out in the part of decryption side from the receiver side. Okay, and also additive ciphers, just reverse operation will be carried out. That means P minus K mode 26 also will be carried out, and also P into K inverse mode. C into K inverse mode 26 also will be carried out. So this is actually what is happening in the case of affine cipher. It is a combination of both the ciphers. I don't think the problems related to this particular topics will be asked for university examination, because it is actually a time consuming problem. Okay, but the thing is that if they are asking you to do so, okay, we must be aware on how to solve this problem. At least we have to be aware on the basic concept what is lying behind this particular ciphers. Okay, so these are the various types of ciphers, and mainly these are the various types of monoalphabetic ciphers. That means the ciphers which focuses on each and every letter of the plain text message individually. Okay, what all monoalphabetic ciphers we have studied so far? Caesar cipher, simple monoalphabetic cipher, multiplicative cipher, and finally affine cipher. Okay, so these are the various monoalphabetic cipher. Next, we can go on to the polyalphabetic ciphers. Okay, so actually as the name implies itself, polyalphabetic ciphers always focuses on more than one letters, whatever is involved in the plain text message. Okay, not a single plain text message letter will be helpful for you in order to take a decision, or otherwise in order to do the encryption process. Okay, more than one letter, whatever is present in the plain text message itself has to be considered so as to get converted to the corresponding ciphertext message letters. Okay, so that is what is happening in the case of polyalphabetic ciphers. Okay, the thing is that what all features are there corresponding to this polyalphabetic ciphers is that actually what we are going to do is that a set of monoalphabetic ciphers rules itself is adopted. That means what all rules that we have followed in the case of monoalphabetic sets or otherwise monoalphabetic ciphers itself has been adopted here in this particular cases. Okay, and not only that, whatever key we are going to adopt here, okay, key itself will give us information on what type of transformation we have to do. Transformation means actually we are transforming plain text message into ciphertext message. Actually this encryption process can be considered as a transformation operation. Am I right? This encryption as well as decryption process can be considered as a transformation operation. That means one form of the message is being converted into another form. In this particular aspect, the plain text message is getting converted into the corresponding ciphertext message. So the thing is that I told you several monoalphabetic ciphers itself is going to be adopted here. Okay, so the thing is that which kind of transformation, otherwise which kind of cipher we are going to adopt here will be simply explained to you, otherwise will be simply specified to you with the help of the key whatever you are going to use here. Okay, so examples are Wigner cipher, Playfair cipher, then auto key cipher, Vernon cipher, one time pad cipher. Okay, Hill cipher, etc. Okay, so we are having much broader category of polyalphabetic cipher than as compared to monoalphabetic cipher. Okay, we have to consider more types of polyalphabetic ciphers. Okay, so the thing is that under polyalphabetic ciphers, okay, Playfair cipher and Hill ciphers are much important because such type of questions are frequently asked for university examinations. Okay, so first of all we can study about Wigner cipher. Okay, so Wigner cipher is actually a polyalphabetic cipher, and as the name implies itself, we are going to consider multiple letters of the plain text message, or otherwise we are going to consider multiple letters. Okay, so as to get the corresponding encryption process carried out to generate the ciphertext message. Okay, so before going on to the theoretical portion, I'll tell you with the help of an example. Okay, so actually what is going to happen here is, this is a particular table. Okay, we can implement a Vigneer cipher only with the help of a Vigneer table. Okay, you have to note one thing, we can perform Vigneer cipher only with the help of a Vigneer table. So the thing is that it is not feasible for us to construct this Vigneer table as a whole, because it is a very much time consuming task. That is, plain text message is written in terms of horizontal manner, that is from A to Z. Actually we are having 26 alphabets in our English alphabet set. Okay, so from A to Z you have to write horizontally, and these A to Z corresponds to plain text message letters, and corresponding to the information provided by key we have to write vertically, that is from A to small z. Okay, so it is not feasible for us to construct such a large table which consists of 26 by 26 matrix format. Okay, so it is very much time consuming, and I don't think such type of questions will be asked for university examination in terms of problems. But the thing is that you need to be aware what is actually happening here, the basic concepts what is lying behind this Vigneer cipher and all, you need to be aware. So I told you Vigneer cipher purely works based on Vigneer table. Okay, so how this table is constructed is that simply you are going to construct a table in terms of two portions, that is horizontally you will be considering the plain text message letters, and vertically you are going to construct or consider the key message letters. Okay, the key letters. Okay, whatever letters can happen as part of the key, that is considered in the vertically. Okay, so from A to Z we are writing in the terms of plain text message, and from small a to small z in terms of key we are writing it vertically. Okay, so simply it is nothing we have to by heart. Okay, simply they have written A B C D randomly, that's all. Okay, that is if you are having a plain text message letter A, okay, and the corresponding key letter is also A, then simply you have to replace it with the capital A. Whenever you find a plain text message letter B and the key letter is A, then simply you have to replace it with B. Okay, whenever you find a D, plain text message D, okay, please look, whenever you find a plain text message letter D and a key letter C, you have to simply replace it with the F. Okay, can you see? Okay, whenever you find a plain text message letter D and a key letter and a key letter C, you have to simply replace it with the F. Okay, hope it is understood. So actually this is simply written in a random format, and there is no need to by heart this. A B C D is simply written like that. In the second line it is starting from B C D, and third line it is starting from C D E, in the fourth line it is starting from D E F. The thing you have to notice that actually when it is ending, okay, that means naturally it will be ending at a particular point. So in the first line you won't be finding any problem, that means A B C D up to Z you can completely find it is being filled in the complete rows. But the thing is that in the second row, okay, that is it is starting from B C D F G etc. Okay, it will end just one cell before, okay, because we started from B not from A. So naturally in the second row what will happen, it will be ending, okay, it will be ending just one cell before. So what is happening is that one cell at the end will become vacant. So at that particular cell you have to fill A, because A was not actually filled in the initial stage, the second row. I am saying about the second row. So what will happen, B C D etc. Z, then again A will come at the end, in the rightmost end. In the third row what is happening, it is starting from C. So naturally two cells will be vacant in the end. So at that particular two cells you have to write A and B. Okay, likewise it is going entirely in the particular table. So thing is that based on this particular table you are going to perform Vigneer cipher. Okay, so how it is possible is that see, actually this is a particular plain text message which is we are discovered. Okay, in this particular example it is given we are discovered. The plain text message which needs to be performed encryption is actually we are discovered. But the thing is that the key word, that means the word which is considered as key, is simply deceptive. Okay, deceptive is the key which is used in order to perform the encryption process here with the help of Vigneer cipher. Okay, so the thing is that deceptive is actually a short key which is not having as length as that of the plain text message. So the thing what is carried out in the case of Vigneer cipher is they are simply going to repeat the keyword. Okay, so that means DECEPTIVE. Then when they found out that again the plain text message letters are coming forward, okay, the length is much more than the size of the keyword, what they will do, they will again repeat the same keyword, that is DECEPT. PT is quite enough because it is actually fitting the correct length of the plain text message. So actually now we are going to adopt this Vignesh Cipher's table, okay, based on which we can construct the ciphertext elements. Okay, so first of all we will look W and D. Okay, what will happen? W and D. So actually in this particular table I was not able to include all the things, all the alphabetical letters, because it is not actually feasible process, and also it is very much time consuming. So actually based on that particular table, when W and D is coming, okay, it is simply replaced with the Z. When E and E is coming, maybe I can find it out in this particular table. See, when E and E is coming, see, please find out the plain text message letter E is coming, and again key letter E is coming, it is simply replaced with the what? I. Okay, it is simply replaced with the I. Okay, so that is what is happening here. E and E, it is simply replaced with I. Likewise, each and every plain text message letter is considered horizontally, and key letter is considered vertically, so as to find out the corresponding letter for which we have to do the replacement process or the substitution process. Okay, so hope it is clear for you. So that is Vignesh Cipher, and this Vignesh Cipher purely works based on this Vignesh table. And since it is not at all easy for us to consider or construct this Vignesh table as a whole, okay, such type of questions won't be asked for you in terms of problems. But the thing is that if they are asking you to write the theoretical concept which is lying behind this Vignesh Cipher, it is easier for you to explain, okay, at least by constructing the tables at least to a further extent possible. Okay, please try to include some of the letters, okay, to further extent possible if you can. Okay, so in the next video we can study the rest of the type of ciphers which is coming under polyalphabetic cipher.